So this is going to be hard. I just got back to Berkeley. It's been an exhausting drive back, but I needed to get to my mailbox because my car part came in, and I'm not feeling really motivated to get moving. I did not do any exercise on Monday, and it's the first Monday in a long time I've done that. But that was honestly because I spent most of the day getting the video check-in uploaded to YouTube, and it just occurred to me that maybe Monday should be my rest day, and Sunday should be an active exercise day, since Monday is when I've obligated myself to upload the video. But now the problem is I haven't done a video on Sunday. I haven't done an exercise video, exercise DVD on Sunday. I haven't done one because Sunday was the rest day, and I haven't done one on Monday. So now I need to this is hard for me to word correctly. So now I'm just trying to wrap my brain around getting out the van and doing a video when all I want to do right now is lay down, because for the last couple days all I've been trying to do is prep stuff for YouTube and drive. I do think it's a good idea to change Monday to completely focus to my I don't want to change my upload day, because Monday is the day I get to really talk about how the past week went. And so this is going to be a shift up for me. Even the fact that I'm recording this now and not on Sunday is a shift up for me. But I'm going to make myself get out this van. I'm going to do my exercise because I need to. Now it's really late. I usually do them earlier in the day. My steps are pitiful because I've been driving most of the day. I'm just under 3,000 steps with what I've done the day so far. But where I am, I can walk around, so I'm going to try to also get as many steps in as I can, which is difficult right now because I'm dealing with sort of problem with my electrical system. That started the day I plugged in that darn inverter. Like, before I added that particular inverter to my system, everything was working fine, and now everything's not. I haven't been able to keep my fridge on because the batteries will dip down too low when it's on, unless the fridge is running. It's a whole thing. I haven't decided if I'll do a separate video about it yet. If so, I don't know. I might do a live stream about it, but right now I need to focus on the fact that despite everything that happened today, I have an obligation, and I need to get out this van, and I need to do my exercises. So with any luck, this is the beginning of a week of exercise clips, and then on the other side of this, I'm just going to be reporting how the week went, and it'll actually be Sunday. So we'll see. So this isn't the best conditions under which to shoot this, but it is Sunday, and so I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it right here on the street where I'm sitting. Basically, I just got finished doing laundry, right over at a laundromat right over here. Just so you guys don't get confused, these videos are a little bit closer to real time than some of my other videos. So I have a couple of more videos coming out from the campsite that I shot while I was there, but that campsite has gone and passed as far as real time. But I do have a couple of more videos that I'm excited to get out this upcoming week. But today is about just me doing my fitness update video. I fully intended to exercise today, and today just it spun out of control. And I didn't get to it. And I'm not making excuses. There's some stuff that happened today. Now, one of the things, it wasn't so much a bad thing. My friend gave me a call, and she had purchased, this is gonna sound crazy, she had purchased a bathtub. So me and her other friend Aaliyah basically helped her pick up this bathtub and transport it to her apartment. And so that was quite the adventure. It wasn't a bad thing, but it kind of threw off my whole day. I just put on my shoes. I was getting ready to just go for a walk. Then I was gonna come back to the van for a little bit, chill, and then do my exercise video, do some editing, and then depending on where my step count was at that point, possibly go on another walk, because that pattern has been working out really, really well for me. There's been a couple of days this week where I just went out on an intentional walk. But I want to get this out of the way before I talk about something else. Let's go ahead and drop the numbers. So as far as my weight loss, I actually gained, which is a disappointment. I really wanted to break 300 this week, but it just kind of didn't happen. I gained a couple of pounds back. If you look at my pattern over the past couple of months, that's not unusual. I've had gains here and there, and then I've dropped. Sometimes I've had big drops, and then I gained a couple pounds back. But generally, the overall, trend has been down, so I'm not going to let myself get too stressed out about the fact that I did go up this week. Also, I wouldn't say this was I'm trying to plan something. I don't even want to use that word. I'm trying to get some events in order that I don't want to discuss on a public platform yet. And so it's distracting and time consuming in this way that's kind of frustrating right now. I feel stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's steps I need to take, and there are things in the way of those steps, and just money concerns surrounding those steps. But if everything works out, all will become clear soon. Anyway, point being, what I really want to talk about this week is I really want to talk about just food, and how people don't really respect sort of having a problem with food. Now, what I've been trying to do, and I've just been experimenting with it this week, is really listening to when I'm hungry. In the past, like a lot of people, even people who don't suffer from the problem of being overweight, there are times we all eat for either pleasure or a Band-Aid. Almost every human does this. It's just about levels of excessiveness versus not. There's the classic in the sitcom, the breakup, the breakup ice cream. I don't know. There's other examples, but the breakup ice cream is one I can think of where it's common. Somebody, usually a female, is no longer in a relationship. Rather they ended it voluntarily or the other person ended it. Commonly, then you see that woman consuming large amounts of ice cream. Now, usually that woman is a traditionally attractive thin woman, but it's a very, very common scene in sitcoms, and very common in human behavior. Even people who would consider themselves fit, sometimes, still do that. And there's plenty of like people who are fit that still like enjoy, going out on special occasions with cake and ice cream and pizza and fast food and all of that. But I don't know what that life is like. I've never been that person. I've never been, traditionally fit. I've been in better shape and I've been in worse shape. And I will say 3 months ago, this video is getting so rambly. Hopefully I'll get to my point. 3 months ago, I was in worse shape. I literally was, when I got to Oregon and I found myself walking up so many hills, I was feeling back pain. That went away like after a short while of being there, especially because I would make myself walk to stores as often as possible to not drive, especially because when I got there, my radiator problem happened and I couldn't drive for a couple of weeks anyway. So I started walking around more. I'd already also planned to go into a fitness routine before the pandemic, and then like the whole thing kind of got hooked into this pandemic fitness journey. I'm still rambling. But this is the point I want to get to. This week I got, let me see if I can find them. I got a big bag of these, veggie straws that I like. I'm not going to, just because they say veggie straws, it doesn't make them any special, but it's like 100 calorie a bag snack. Now, if I had like one of these a day, it wouldn't be a problem. That's totally fine. It's not that big of a deal as long as like this isn't like a meal. But what unfortunately happened is, it was one of those things, the sea salt I'm so on, like I enjoy it, but I don't overeat it. But the zesty ranch I really like. And after I had one bag, I found myself eating 2 bags, and then I found myself eating 3 bags. Now this isn't as bad as consuming, say, a pint of ice cream or, a giant bag of like chocolate candies or something. Like, it's not as bad as that in caloric content or nutritional value or anything like that. And also you can get, that's like 300 calories. You can still eat that and kind of balance out the rest of your day. But this is why I say I recognize in myself when I need to be an abstainer. Now, from the beginning of this journey, people have always said, oh, you can have some of it, you just need to not have a lot of it. And that is true with some foods. But what I've recognized in myself is when I need to be an abstainer. An abstainer versus a moderator. There are things I cannot have moderately because if I get a taste of it, I tend to overeat it. And I don't know why, and it's gone, I'm in it, I'm too deep in it before I really think about it too much. And it's okay to admit you're that person. Yes, it's nice that some people, maybe most people, can eat certain sweets and treats and stuff and do it in moderation. It's great that they have those self-controls in them. But there's certain foods where I don't have that type of self-control. And the easiest thing for me to do is just take it off the table completely. The easiest thing for me to do is not buy it. I am never going to buy a Twinkie. I'm definitely not going to buy a box of Twinkies. I'm not going to buy Oreos because, like, they taste good in that moment and I want to keep consuming them. But honestly, in the grand scheme of things, they don't taste that great. And on top of that, they're not good for me. Like, they're not like the end all be all of the universe. I've had them before. I know what they taste like. And my life is not going to be ruined if I decide to never eat them again. I'm 40 years old. I've had plenty of Oreos. I've had plenty of, like, take. And so when I recognize this weakness in myself, no, I cannot moderate it, because if I put it in front of me at too high of a level, I'm going to consume too much of it. Now, I do like things in individual servings. Like, I don't like giant bags of chips. Now, in this case, it didn't work because I really like the zesty ranch, and I found myself just like, oh, one more bag isn't going to hurt me. It's only 100 calories. One more bag isn't going to hurt me. It's only 100 calories. And this happened a lot during the low-fat phenomenon, when fat was the evil macronutrient of the day and everything was low fat and half fat and no fat. People were like, oh, it's low fat, I can have 3 times as much, which obviously doesn't work for obvious reasons. And so it's okay to recognize when you're an abstainer. And people respect you needing to abstain from drugs. People respect you being able to, abstain from alcohol if you recognize you're an alcoholic. But people will forever try to convince you, even if you tell them it's not true, that a little piece of cake isn't going to hurt. And what I found is a little piece of cake is never just a little piece of cake. It opens the floodgates. And the floodgates are bad. And so I just don't buy it so that it's not around me, And if I don't have it at all at like parties or gatherings, then it's easier for me just to not have it. Whereas if I have a taste, and this has happened before, I've had a taste of it at a party, and next thing I know, I went to like the store, and I bought something that's more than one serving and ate all of the servings in one sitting. And now I tell myself I've been being good, and that is a trap. I used to listen to this podcast called The Happiness Project, and that was the thing she talked about. Like, I am happy abstaining. It's always other people trying to convince me that I need to not be an abstainer. I need to be nicer to myself. And the nicest thing I've ever done to myself is admit that I need to be an abstainer, because I'm happy, except for other people telling me that I need to make room in my life for this thing that I don't miss until they insist that it's too good of a thing not to have. And so one of the things she talked about in the podcast was accepting when you're an abstainer and knowing when, no, I just need to cut myself off from it in order to successfully actually be the person I want to be. And that's okay. When an alcoholic recognizes that, alcohol is negative and it gives a temporary satisfaction, but its long-term effects are ultimately bad, or a smoker realizes that it gives a temporary satisfaction, but its long-term effects are actually bad, it's okay for them to decide, I am not going to do it anymore. Now, casual smokers, I have met them. I've met people who only smoke socially or to be a part of social groups, are a little more uncommon these days, I think. But with alcohol, you see it a lot, and people really respect it when it's alcohol. Like, if you just tell them, like, I'm in recovery, people completely respect it, and they usually don't try to push alcohol on you. And the thing is, you have tons of people who can casually drink alcohol and it doesn't become a thing they need all the time or that they have to drink in excess. And then you have those people where that's not true. And I love to use alcohol as my example because it's the best example, because it's a socially acceptable, if not expected, thing for adults. And it's one of the few things where we respect when somebody goes, I don't drink. Now, they could not drink for a number of reasons. There's people who don't like alcohol. I don't really like alcohol. Like, I've tried it off and on, and I've tried it because I felt like grown-ups were supposed to like alcohol, but I've never really liked it, to be quite honest. Most of the alcohol I like, it's because it tastes like juice, and I'm like, well, then I could just have juice and not have all the alcohol whose taste I don't like anyway. So yeah, I don't think I'm a big nerd for that, but I don't like alcohol. I mean, like, that's the way it is. I don't like the taste of it. There's nothing I've ever really liked about alcohol. But if you say, like, I don't drink, even if people assume it's because you've been an alcoholic in the past, they respect that choice a whole lot more than they do when you say, you know what, I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm trying to be good. I'm not going to have, any insert thing. And people will be insistent upon the fact that you can have a little bit of it, in their opinion. And they don't respect the fact that you recognize you cannot. Like, it's going to be a grand detriment to what you're trying to do to have a little bit of it, and a little bit of it is never a little bit. Now, that's not true for everybody's weight loss journey. I know plenty of people who are like, you know what? Instead of getting the big Hershey bar, I have one of those little tiny Hershey bars, every day. And that fulfills the taste, and I'm fine. And I can move on with life happy that I still get to get a little bit of the taste every day. I'm not that person. That little bit of taste is going to make me, I'm not really that addicted to chocolate, but I'm using it as an example. That little bit of taste is going to make me want the big bar. And it may cause me to want to consume that big bar every day for a couple of weeks until, like, the taste goes away. Or, like, I'm over it. Because that'll happen too. I'll go on a binge fest and then I'll be over it. So yeah, I don't know what the brain chemistry is. I don't know, what things are linked to that. But yes, there are some things I'm just like, it's gone. I'm not going to eat it anymore. And I've mostly been successful in that. I gave up soda. I have not gone back to it. Unless you count a couple of ginger beers, which I don't know. Go ahead and count those then. But for the most part, I haven't gone back to soda. I don't buy soda. I don't drink soda. So yeah, I took it off the table and I haven't gone back near it. And I've never missed soda. What always happens with soda is that it becomes the most accessible drink in group scenarios that isn't alcohol. And it's more acceptable and taste pleasing for me to drink than alcohol. So I'll skip the alcohol and usually end up with something bubbly or carbonated. And now it's like I've taken that off the table as well. Because it's just not a big deal to me. And the consequences of letting it back in is overall negative. So that's my bit on abstaining and moderating, and a little bit about who I am, and the fact that this week I experienced a reminder of sort of the stupid things I do sometimes. And it's like I knew better. Like, you can see yourself doing something. But it's like, I still wrote down the fact that I recorded. I didn't really write it down. I recorded the fact that it had happened. I recorded what I consumed. And at least on a caloric level, I tried to adjust as much as I could. So that was a bad thing that happened this week. This week was a week. There was nothing special about it. There was nothing extraordinary about it. My head is a million places right now, and that's all I got for this one. I know these videos aren't super exciting, but just pushing forward. At some point, hopefully, I will break that 300-pound barrier. But I just look back at my 3-month progress and remind myself how far I've come.